When you see the words taxation without representation, does that evoke any feelings or words?
Well, of course, that's what got the revolution going way back 200 and some years ago. Um, and it is somewhat unfair to do that, isn't it? To tax people and yet give them no voice in the government. And so without representation, presumably means you can't vote and send representatives to the legislative body or to the executive. We were talking about the status of Washington, D.C. and how Washington, D.C. does not have congressmen. Washington, D.C. does not have senators, and yet you have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people living there. So they're American citizens, of course. So because it's the District of Columbia, for historical reasons, it was never a state and it has no representation and no say. So that should be changed. D.C., I don't know what it would take, a constitutional amendment to recast D.C. as a state or to make a special entity out of it, but it should have a congressman, depending on its size, and a couple of senators. This is a good idea. I mean, who in America would not agree with this idea in principle? The problem is politics overrides principle, and D.C. is a heavily Democratic area. It's Democrats by a huge margin, and that would mean a new state with 2 Democratic senators and a Democratic congressman, and the Republicans are never going to let that happen. So the idea is basically dead until there are so few Republicans in the legislatures that it can pass.
You think that's possible?
I don't think it's likely in the near future,
Yeah.
but the day may come.